Welcome back, and I'm here with Candice Briscoe, and who lost 135 pounds in the keto diet. You met her just a few minutes ago. She's now a keto coach, and she's going to show us some of the foods that are incorporated in her diet. First of all, Candice, before you go to the food, what's the concept? Because we didn't really talk about it, because people may know about it, but what's the concept of the keto diet?
Keto diet is a low-carb, high-fat, moderate protein diet. So your body goes from using carbohydrates for energy to using your own fat for energy. And the results are amazing. Not only do you lose weight, but there is a mental clarity. There is an energy that comes with it. People start keto to lose weight. People stay keto because of how great you feel.
Awesome. So you've got some examples of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is a typical day for a beginning keto client. I like to keep it pretty simple to help them transition as easily as possible. So for breakfast, we've got some eggs, a half of an avocado, and some bacon. And the goal in this is to consume enough fat to be satiated from meal to meal without having a snack in between.
And for those who are, for example, vegetarian, you don't have to have the bacon if you don't need to. The idea is that she's got healthy fat here, and the eggs are a great source of it. Bacon you can have. The only concept is you can have this, but if you have it every day, there are patients who do have heart disease and cardiac disease that you don't want to have saturated fat all the time. So good fat's great, and if you're vegetarian, you don't need to have the bacon, but you can. And then you have lunch here?
Yeah, we have a Caesar salad, a little bit of Parmesan sauce, a couple tablespoons of Caesar.
That's great, and the concept here is also, notice there are carbohydrates here, but they're complex. It's very important to understand these simple carbohydrates that she's given up. One thing, but you may have noticed, there's no donut on here, right?
No
There's
donuts.
no piece of white bread on here. There's no jelly and all this stuff. It's the simple carbohydrates that kill you. You talk about the mental clarity she's talking about. When you have simple carbohydrates, they clog your brain up. Why?
Absolutely.
Because of the gut health. When you have those trillions of bugs, the microbiome, they get completely obliterated by simple carbohydrates. But you have to understand, you have to eat cleaner too. You can't, people who eat and they eat bad food, even if it's fat, you have bad fats and not clean fats that will also alter your microbiome. And this is great stuff. She's got lettuce, she got a little bit of cheese, and then she's got some chicken. That'll do you really well. And then dinner.
We got a steak, around 6 ounces, some sauteed spinach, and a tablespoon of butter.
And so notice she doesn't have 4 tablespoons of butter, right? You see those folks, they say, excuse me, waiter, I need another whole container of butter to slather on. So in moderation, you can have butter, and it's perfect. But the quantity, if you have 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of butter, it's great. And this is a nice piece of meat, right? You guys all would eat that, right? So I would also say, the only thing I would say is that I would not eat this every single day. I would put a piece of salmon on there, maybe every other day, so that you don't get the saturated fats. One of the mistakes and misnomers that people have is we know about bad carbs, but bad fats have what's called omega-6. So omega-6 acids can inflame the gut. When it inflames the gut, begins inflammation. Over time, you may be thinner, but what happens is that the inside of your body is not doing well. And you've done incredibly well in keeping up with it. What do you miss the most? I know what my assistant director misses the most. He talks about a plain donut. But what do you miss the most?
A good old peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, yes.
Honestly.
What are you guys like, oh.
Honestly.
Yeah, so, and when you have that craving, this is the thing that it's so important, is when you have that craving, how do you get past that?
Well, this is the thing. With other diets, I have always had major cravings. With keto, I don't have those cravings. It is not a physical craving. It's just the thought, like, oh, I like that, but I don't physically want it anymore.
And it's because you've changed your diet so much. So she said a very important thing. It's up here. Just so you know, when you have, for example, I'll just not say a peanut butter jelly sandwich, but a donut, right? It goes into your brain and then activates the dopamine system. The dopamine system is the same one that also is stimulated by something called crack cocaine. That sound familiar? So it's the same system. So people who eat that all the time have that craving in the mind. And once you stop that whole process, you don't deplete that dopamine. When you're using dopamine all the time, the average American diet, right? Eating a big bun full of stuff and then eating a lot of simple carbohydrates, you're continually getting that dopamine stimulated. It depletes it, and your body says, I want more. Just like a crack addict. I want more crack. And then you become automated. You pass by a fast food restaurant, it takes everything in your life to get not to stop it. So that's the problem. And what she's done is, the other thing she told us on the last segment was that she said, I automate my life. So you get this pre-prepared and you already know you're going to eat this. So there's no decision making because your willpower, you're great, but most people that are watching, and some of you, your willpower fails. And so if you automate your life, just like brushing your teeth, I'm going to brush it in the morning, brush it at night, these are my meals, it really fails. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All the way from the Big Easy. All right, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll talk about dieting and maintaining good health. Please stay right here.